Can we start with the famous James Carville quote, "It's the economy, stupid." The markets remain in turmoil and the fundamentals, growth, inflation, remain tricky. Labour markets are tight. It's a huge call, even for the most unified and competent government, isn't it, to get it right?
Absolutely. There are. One of the things that the government's been saying relentlessly is that there is international turmoil, and that is true. Which, of course, not to underplay the extent to which the government has added to it in a unique way for the UK. So, given the position of UK public finances, which is not good, and been made worse by the tax cuts, and the need to convince, as you just said, the international markets. That, in a sense, the UK is under stable and consistent management, which is hugely important, particularly for everybody's mortgage payments, because interest rates are affected by this, and that's all yet really to hit. So I think what the government is at the moment involved in is a desperate attempt at calming things down. Now, whether, the appointment of Jeremy Hunt will undoubtedly at the margins help that, but if in the end the markets are not convinced that even now he and the Prime Minister, that's Jeremy Hunt and the Prime Minister, can't get a real grip on the economy, then, as you just said, the gilt rate yields and the percentage on those was going to go up, and separately sterling, could yet hit parity with the dollar. So everything's still very much up for grabs.
People watching on television, and I'll just explain it for those listening on radio, we just ironically saw Jeremy Hunt trying to get the key in the front door of his house and maybe happily slam the door behind him and have a good think, because I completely accept that crisp analysis, and you've done exactly what I wanted, objective fact. But politically, Jeremy Hunt also needs to take the party and his people with him. Now, David Davis, interestingly, on GBNews this morning said that he'd showed a steady pair of hands this morning in what was his first big television outing. But has he actually got the clout and the experience to do this job? Secretary of State for Health for as long as anyone can remember, but not a Treasury Minister, not a numbers man.
Well, he's as you say, a very experienced minister, and I think he will inspire confidence more than, certainly more than the difficulties of the last few weeks. He's definitely going to do better than that. But what you say is correct. He is not the only piece of this jigsaw. There are plenty of others. And I think that the longer-term problem, which, you've alluded to, is that the Conservative Party has become enormously factional. We're used to the Labour Party being factional, but the Conservatives have become factional. And that means that whoever is Prime Minister, indeed whoever is Chancellor, is endlessly having to square off these different interests from groups within the party. And I think in some ways the factionalism has probably got worse during the years that Jeremy Corbyn was Labour leader. And it made it easier for the Conservatives to be factional because, Labour didn't look as if they were about to win the next election. As of today, Labour definitely look as if they're about to win the next election. And whether that will minimise the factionalism, make it easier for Jeremy Hunt and Liz Truss to govern from now on, I think depends enormously on whether Conservative MPs believe they're more likely to hold their seats with her as Prime Minister and Jeremy Hunt as Chancellor, or with somebody else as Prime Minister. That's what it's going to come down to.